Welcome to the Richard Lloyd USA YouTube channel. I'm Richard Lloyd. In a previous video, I showed you how to install Windows, download and install Windows in a step-by-step manner, and it was a fresh, clean install into your computer. Now, there are other options other than wiping out everything on your computer and reinstalling Windows to fix it. There is something called an in-place upgrade, or they have a bunch of names for it: a reset, repair. So basically all of these things mean one thing: taking Windows and reinstalling Windows over top of itself. Now, I'm going to show you the options for that, and here's the video where I did Windows 10 install step by step, and I'll put a card for that up top sometime during the video. And basically you can take a look at that if you want to just wipe your machine out, reinstall Windows, and start fresh. But in this window, what I'm going to show you is how to reset or reinstall Windows over top of itself. So let's go over here to the Start button, go to Settings, and here on Settings you'll see the usual settings stuff. Let's go home, and all these icons to go to, but where we're going to go to is Updates and Security. And do me a favor, if you like this video and it helped you out in some way, give me a thumbs up down at the bottom there. Give me a like, and share it, and give me comments also in the comment section below. And any of the equipment that you see me using in this video will be in the video description. Those links are what they call affiliate links, and they help me out without costing you any more than going directly to Amazon and buying it yourself as well. So do me a favor, use those links. Another bonus to that is that you get exactly the same device that I'm using in this video, which we know works, from Amazon, from the same seller at the same price. Okay, so do me a favor on that. But basically, this is Windows updates. You can see that my machine does not meet the current requirements for 11. No big deal there. If you look over here on activation on your machine, you should see that it is activated, and probably says here with a digital license like mine, more than likely. If you want to learn more about that, just click that link there. We're not going there. So basically what I'm saying is you need an activated legal copy of Windows to do this. So we're going to go over here to Recovery. You'd think Backup would be where you'd go, but you go here to Recovery, and you've got these two options here. Advanced Startup, so you could reboot the machine and try and troubleshoot whatever issue you're having with the computer, or reset this PC. Now, after I do this in-place upgrade of this machine, we'll have one more option, and that is to revert back to your old version. Well, in our case, it would be this version of Windows right now. But right now, since this is the first install and it hasn't been reinstalled yet, you don't have that option. But I'll show you that after we do this procedure, okay? So here we're going to go to reset this PC. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, why would I want to do this? Well, if your machine's working perfectly fine, you probably don't want to do this. Your machine's working fine, don't fix it, right? There's no need to do anything like this. But let's say you got some malware or a virus or something happened to your computer, like, I don't know, maybe the motherboard fried, or, and it's just not working right after the repair or after the virus removal. Or maybe you installed something into your computer that, adjusted the operating system in a way that made it, run really funky. I've got problems like that with mine, with my video rendering software. It's really, really touchy as to what makes it work and what doesn't make it work. So, I bite my fingers every time a Windows update comes in, because it's like, is my machine going to work after this, right? Is my video rendering software going to work after this? A lot of the time it doesn't, but fortunately for me, I keep a backup of the configuration of my computer when it does work, so I can always restore it, okay? But regardless, if you're having a problem and with your operating system, and maybe it's really running slow or something, but this will not fix problems like a virus. If your machine is infected with a virus and you install Windows, well, you're going to have a fresh install of Windows on a virus-infected machine. That's what you'll have, okay? And maybe it'll make things work a little better. And if you can't run anything, reinstalling Windows over top of itself might give you enough headroom to install a virus program and get the virus out. But again, this is, like I said, make sure you know what you're doing when you're doing that. And make sure that you back all your data up prior to doing any of these procedures, especially wiping it out clean, okay? Because then all your data is gone at that point. But you never know what would happen, what can happen in a update or a restart or a reset like we're doing here, an in-place install repair, as they call it. You know, maybe it won't work. Maybe the version of Windows that you have is slightly different than the one that you're putting over top of it. You know, who knows what could go wrong, right? But back up, back up, back up. Back up your stuff to a thumb drive. Back it up to the cloud. Back it up to an external hard drive or a network resource of some kind. Back up your documents. Back up your pictures. Back up your important stuff to somewhere outside the computer before trying to do anything like this on your computer, including removing viruses and stuff like that. And yes, you should check all that stuff for viruses when you return it back to the computer as well. But okay, so there's what we've got. So when you go to recovery and you say reset this PC, you get two options. Remove apps and settings, but keep your personal files, okay? So that means it's going to take all your programs out, like say if you got Microsoft Office, or in my case, NVIDIA stuff, or Intel update drivers and stuff like that. It's going to take that all out and leave your personal files. At least that's what Microsoft says is going to happen. Now, I again, don't trust that because you never know what might go wrong, okay? The second option is, you know, wipe your machine out and remove everything and reinstall Windows, right? And you know, I don't recommend doing that this way here. I would go up to that card I put at the top of this video and go do it the way I show you in that video, because it's much more reliable than relying on this button, okay? So I'm not going to show you how to remove everything, but bottom line is you've got two options here, but they're limited options. As you can see, well, one way I lose my programs, but I keep my personal files, and the other way I lose everything, right? Well, let me show you a second option, and a better one as far as I'm concerned, a much better one. What you do is you're going to create a USB thumb drive. You use a USB thumb drive to create the installation program for Windows. And this is not it. Let me get the right one. And once you do that, you'll have not two options, but three. And I'll show you that here in a second. I'll plug it in. And like I said, the thumb drive is free. You can, I mean, not the thumb drive, but the files to create this thumb drive are free, and they're available on the internet 24/7 from Microsoft, and they're legit and they work. Okay, so here's what you get once you create that thumb drive, and we will be creating that thumb drive in this video. But once you have it, what you're going to do is click on Setup here, and it's going to, you know, give you this question. Of course, we're going to allow it. And I'm just going to minimize some of this stuff out of the way to reduce clutter. There we go. And in the back, you can see that Windows is getting ready here. So there we go. So this is install Windows 10. But again, we're not doing a fresh install, though you could, but this is not how you would do it. But here, what I'm going to do is show you how to handle this drive after we download it and make it, just to show you the options here, right? I'm going to choose not to download the updates right now, because all I'm coming in here to do is show you the third option that Microsoft does not give you in the system recovery window, right? Actually, there's four options. One that's not even showing up here, but will show up after we do this update, because I've gone all the way through it to see what happens. And the fourth option would be return it back to where you started. Okay, so here I'm going to just click on accept. Okay, so and by not choosing the setup updates, it's going to make this procedure much faster, by the way. So you can do the updates afterwards, or you can do it during the installation. It's up to you, I'm choosing not to right now because it's just quicker, and I'm trying to get to this stuff as quickly as possible and show you all the information as quickly as possible. So here I'll probably just cut it and wait for this to update so you can see the difference between the options that Windows gives you inside its program and the options that Microsoft gives you. Okay, there we go. So here it says ready to install, and here are what options. You won't be able to use a PC with Windows installed. Save and close your files before you begin. Good advice. Install Windows 10 Pro. Well, whatever you have, it's going to reinstall it, and keep personal files and apps, right? So that's what we got here, keep personal files. But no, we don't have that here, right? So see what it says here, keep personal files and apps? This one removes your apps and keeps your personal files. So this is the third option that you get with this. And if you expand that out there, you can see that you get keep personal files and apps, keep personal files only, which is what you've got here, and nothing. Everything will be deleted, including files and apps, you know, which is what this is here, okay? So, I mean, you could say to yourself, well, I don't need the, you know, I want this option here, so I'm not going to bother with the USB thumb drive. I strongly, strongly urge you not to do that, okay? Because what if this doesn't work? What if there's something goes wrong with this keep my files or remove everything button, you know, option inside Windows? We already know your operating system isn't working right. That's why you're reinstalling Windows over top of itself. That's my assumption, right? So assume that it's not perfect. Assume that there's something wrong. If you use the USB thumb drive like I show over here and something goes wrong, you can always use the USB thumb drive either to A, repair it, or B, just reinstall the operating system fresh over top of itself and erase everything on your computer. That's why you want to back everything up before you do this procedure. Don't think, oh, well, you know, Microsoft is promising me to keep my personal files, or Microsoft is promising me to keep my apps and my files. I wouldn't trust that because I've seen it go wrong many times. So use a thumb drive to do this procedure. That's the way I'm going to do it. So let's go create the thumb drive here. I'm just going to close this off. And again, you may not have access to the internet. Maybe you're somewhere where these are the only two options you can give yourself, because if you don't have access to the internet, you won't be able to create a thumb drive. If you don't have a thumb drive or the ability to create the thumb drive, then these are the two options you have, right? So again, it's only my suggestion, and my strong opinion on this is use the thumb drive. So we're going to go into the internet again here, and you know, this is called, again, you can see here the warnings from PC Mag about in-place updates. But I'm just going to go to a search, and I'm going to do Windows Media, sorry, Windows installations, Windows 10. Well, I guess the download will do. And this is free. Microsoft lets you have this for free because they're not worried about pirating. Their licensing encryption is very, very strong. So here we're going to go to Windows 10. Let's just go here, Windows 10 Microsoft here. Download Windows 10. And scroll down to create Windows 10 installation media. We're going to do that. And it'll create it'll download a media creation tool. So we're going to do that. And say yes to this, and it'll just run that. And if we go back to my settings here, you'll see, actually, can I turn that off now? I'm just going to hit cancel on this to move this out of the way. You know, my updates are all updated here. Everything's cool on this machine. And I want to show you also, while this is happening, that I have a few apps installed. I've got, sorry, not there. I've got the Intel Driver Update Assistant installed, and NVIDIA control panel, and a Bing wallpaper. So if I use the keep my apps and files, that should keep all that stuff. And here I'm just going to say accept to the notices and license terms. And again, in order to create this tool, of course, you're going to have access to the internet. And let's just take a few of these and copy them. Maybe I can, I don't know, we'll see. Put them in downloads. Oh no, okay. This is good enough. What I was trying to do here was make sure I had something on my drive that you could see that it didn't wipe out all my data. So that's good enough. The download directory has stuff in it. So wait for this to finish. When it's done, I'll walk you through the reinstallation of Windows 10 over top of itself. Okay, well, we've got this prompt. What do you want to do? Upgrade this PC now, create installation media. We're going to do the second, okay? Yes, you could try the upgrade. I'm not bothering with that. It's like I said, you want to have this USB thumb drive created first, because no matter what, it's like your get out of jail free card. If you mess it up, at least you have the operating system, Windows 10 installation operating system files on a USB thumb drive, and worst comes to worst, you can reinstall Windows over, not over top of itself, but fresh, and then reinstall your stuff and start again. Okay, so basically it's like, if you crash your machine totally, then this will actually put Windows back on your machine, but it will also wipe all your files and programs out too. So understand that, but at least you have that option, and the other options you don't. Okay, so here we're going to do this, create it, and choose the defaults here. Go into more details in the process of installing Windows in that other video that I put a card up for. Next. Okay, and what we want is a USB flash drive, of course, and we've got that. There it is in there. And it says I got 2 removables, and I don't know what it's talking about, but let's go take a look. It sees my local disk as a removable, but I'll always check this to make sure you're doing the right drive, because if you do the wrong drive here, like, there's the danger, right? There you go. Removable drives, D. Well, that's my root drive, right? If it looks like it anyway, let's see. No, it's not. Yeah, that actually, the D drive in my machine is my backup drive. So make sure you're doing the right drive so you don't wipe the wrong thing out. So in my case, it's the USB F. So that's a good thing that actually happened. So here, we'll go here. And if you want to know what I use for backing up my machine and my data, I use a program called Clonezilla, which you can make a USB thumb drive from, or 2, and use it to back up Windows. No problem at all. Works really well. And again, the name of that is Clonezilla, and you can find it at clonezilla.org. And I actually do have a video on that if you search my channel. So, again, do me a favor, put your comments in the video comments below this video. Look at the video description for links and stuff. And if you like my stuff, subscribe to my channel, and you can watch. Also hit the bell icon, and then you can watch the video every time you get a notification. Because when you hit the bell icon, you get notifications every time I put up a new video, and you can watch them and enjoy them at your own time. So here we're at 21%. I'm going to let this go. I'll pick it up when it's finished, and then we'll install Windows over top of itself. All right, we're at 97, 98% here. It's finishing up. Just go on to the next part here. Okay, so it's going to continue installing, and we're going to go through this portion. I'll wait till this gets to 100%, and I'll pick it up there. I just want to show you the steps that it goes through so that you understand that it does take a bit of time. Right, we're at 97% here on progress, approaching the next step in this. And I want to say that you're going to need a USB thumb drive that is at least 8 gigabytes in size. This is a 32, so it's no problem. And also, this can't be done unless you have a working computer. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this in a way that you could download these files. If you follow this procedure, any Windows computer, you can download the files and create this flash drive to reinstall Windows on your machine, which, I'm going to show you that method right now by hitting finish here. And when we hit finish, we've got a USB flash drive that's ready to reinstall Windows for you. All right, and it goes away. But if we look here on F, where it said it was, you can see that I have set up and a bunch of files that don't make a lot of sense, but the one that matters is right here, setup. Okay, so if you're doing this on another computer and you're going to take it over to a laptop or something and fix it, just take the thumb drive, plug it in, go to the drive that it becomes, F, D, C, whatever it is, and double click on setup. So that's what we're going to do here. Say yes to this. And this will start happening. I'm going to minimize this out of the way because we don't need it anymore. There we go. And again, can't reiterate this enough. Don't do this any other way than using a USB thumb drive. Really, don't trust the machine to do this for you without doing this, because this is like, you know, it's like your backup parachute. If the first one fails, you got another one, right? So if those two other procedures fail, and now you got a machine that doesn't boot into Windows at all, and then you got no way, and if it's your only machine, you got no way to reinstall. With this, you always have that option, okay? So here we're going to change how Windows setup downloads updates. And here, this is optional. You can leave this on. It'll just take longer for the process to happen because it's going to download all the updates. I know this machine is updated to the max right now anyway, and this makes this process faster for me, which makes the video shorter. So let's go with that. And there's really no difference between the two unless there's some update that you really need right away, right? So here we're just going to hit not right now, and it says I want to. You know, you can go with this, I want to help, whatever. That's optional too. I just go with the defaults. Click next. So it's going to go through a checkup of your machine, probably trying to determine what's the best of software to use on this, and then, you know, continue to, well, as you saw in the first little example, it will give you a bunch of options of what to do next. So here's the license agreement. I'm going to click on accept. And this is the screen that gives you 3 options instead of 2, which is what the operating system would give you. Okay, so again, another reason to use a USB thumb drive, because you have a little more latitude on what to keep and what to get rid of. And you can always go like, okay, I'm going to use option number 1, which is keep my apps and my files, right? And then option number 2, which is keep my files, not my apps. And option number 3, which is wipe it all out and start fresh, right? So here's what we got right now. Keep my personal files and apps. And if you want to change that, here it is. The procedure is the same, more or less, regardless of which one you choose. I'm thinking that the nothing option would probably be the fastest, but I'm just going to choose, you know, keep personal files and apps, right? And then click next. Like I said, you choose what you wish, right? Understand, once you can go down the road with this, and if you've chosen to remove things, they're gone. So best be backing up your stuff, okay? Back it all up. Once, twice, or 3 times. The rule in IT is backup, 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 meaning 3 backups, right? So here we go, ready to install. Let's go. Make sure you read over this and understand what's going to happen, and hit install. Again, I'm not responsible what you do to your machine with this procedure. I'm just showing it to you, but understand that, you know, deleting stuff, it means it's gone. All right, so this is going to take several times to restart. It's 1% complete right now. I'll pick this up, you know, probably after each reboot if I need to. Otherwise, I'll just count it and, you know, come back to the point where the actual computer is asking me for input. Right now, from here on, it's basically hands off. Now, the one thing I do want to tell you that is, if your computer is set up to boot off a thumb drive or USB thumb drive, mine is, then when this procedure is done here, this 2% all the way to 100, and it says I'm going to reboot, you should take the USB thumb drive out of the machine, because otherwise it's going to boot into a install Windows, almost like burgundy, purplish, blue screen, and you don't want to do that. If that happens to you, just hit the red X on the install screen and it'll reboot. Take the thumb drive out and let it boot normally, and the procedure will continue on. So I'll show you that when it happens, and pick it up at that point. All right, it's going to restart here. When it starts restarting, like when you see it rebooting, at that point, you can, or I would, take the USB thumb drive out, like right now. But, you know, you can leave it in there and see what happens. It might not do anything. But in my case, I know it would boot off the thumb drive, which we don't want. So I just took the thumb drive out. So now we're rebooting as normal, without the thumb drive in the machine. Again, like I said, if your machine is not built to boot off a thumb drive by default, then you could just leave it in there, right? But no biggie taking it out either. So there we are, we're restarting here. We're probably going to go through this cycle 2 or 3 more times. I'll just let this go and I'll pick it up, like I said, at the point where it actually requires some human input from me. So there you go, see, 12% working on updates. So it's doing updates anyway. So I'll let that be, and I'll pick it up when it's ready for my input. All right, after 2 complete boot ups from the one I was at, we've come back to the startup screen here, and got this pretty picture. Let's just click in and log in as I should be able to here. There we go. Just do it. Use the right password. There we go. Yeah, it did thought it was finished, but again, here's the last bit of the update after the 2, actually totals of 3 complete reboots. And again, just follow it through and, do what the screen tells you to do. Like in this case, don't turn off your PC. And, we should end up back at the desktop here shortly. So I'll pick it up there. All right, after a small wait there, we're back to the desktop, and looks like everything's cool. Let's go take a look at things. Let's go over here to settings, and let's go to update and security, which is really what matters. And you can see here I'm up to date. I'll check for updates, but I really shouldn't need any because I was up to date when I started. So let that go. We'll come back to that. Over here in recovery, where we started this whole journey, well, we could have started this whole journey. You see now what I said in the beginning. Now you have the option to reset the PC and go back to a previous version of Windows. Let's see what we get on this button. Yeah, same 2 options. Cancel that. Let's go on this one, see what we get. Well, it has to get itself ready. There you go. It's going to ask you a couple questions as to why you're doing this, which is good for them because, it actually helps to improve this tool, but I'm not going through it. I'm just going to say cancel here. But you see that you get the option to go back to a previous version. And then you got advanced startup here to, in case you want to start the device from a USB drive or a DVD, as I have. But, again, to restore a Windows or an image, right? So, again, we're not going there on that one. Back to activation, we should still be good. We're still Windows 10 Pro, and we're still activated with a digital license. Back to Windows Update. And as you can see, it found a few more updates. So I'll do the reboot here and set it back, or reboot it, and I'll pick it up when it comes back up. Now, this is strange because basically what this tells me is that it took my version of Windows back from where I had it. I had it all updated prior to doing this, and now these updates are coming up. Or maybe it upgraded it and it needs these things for that upgrade. But regardless, we're going to reboot, and I'll pick it up at the after that. All right, we're back to my login screen here. We log back in and see what state we're in as far as Windows goes. So as you can see, lots of reboots required. That reboot, it said it was updating as well. So we'll go back to setup here. So the Windows button, settings, updates and security. So there we go. It's actually still updating more. So this is part of the process, and it won't. Like if you didn't know to go here, you would know. But it doesn't matter. Windows will still download and update these things anyway in the background. I just like coming here to make sure that I'm all updated, and I force the machine to do it so that I know I'm safe and everything's as secure as it can be. A lot of these updates are security features that need to be installed to make your machine more secure. So I would, definitely suggest going in here and doing all of these. I'm going to go to optional quality update available. So I just click on it. So this is a preview for Windows 10 version 22H2, which I had prior to doing this update. So again, the installation reinstallation of Windows took me back a bit, which is good. It's okay, right? As long as it fixes your problem and you get you up and running again, you just come up here and do all these updates again and be done. So I'll wait for this to finish, and again, when it's all updated, we'll finish up the video. All right, that took a long time, about 35 minutes or so to do those updates. They must have been massive, but regardless, I've got them all installed. We've got the green check mark here. We'll do a recheck here, and basically I'll show you that my programs are still installed as they should be. Oh, look at that. There we go, an update. 5 minutes ago, that update wasn't available. So that's cool. So now it's updated. It says check for updates. We'll do it one more time. Go over here to programs. You see that I still have my Bing wallpaper app, my NVIDIA settings app, and my Intel support assistant, driver support assistant. Go to my drive here, or my file browser. You can see I still have a D drive. Great. That's where all my images are. That's great. If I go to the PC, I have a C drive as well, where the operating system's installed and everything's still there. Under my downloads, everything I had installed before, it's still there. So it did exactly what it said it was going to do: reinstall Windows and keep my apps and my data intact. It has done that perfectly. So that, again, why I suggest using a thumb drive to do this, because you always have the option. If it all blows up on you, well, fine, I backed everything up. I'm going to reinstall fresh using the thumb drive, and you can with that download that we did. No problem at all. So, and again, I will have put a card up here by now on how to do a fresh install of Windows straight up. And with that thumb drive, you'll be able to follow that, no problem. Okay, so that's it for my video. If it helped you out in some way, do me a huge favor. Give me a like, a thumbs up here at the bottom. Also, in the video description, you'll find a bunch of affiliate links there for things I use every day on these videos, including this thumb drive, which is really nice because it has an activity light on it. And that, I'm telling you, it's gold to have that light, because you may think you're stuck, but if that activity light is still flashing, that means it's still reading the drive. Even though you think it's like, oh, is it hung up? Well, if the activity light is flashing, then more than likely it's not. So just, if you think you're hung up, do yourself a favor. Just give it a break for 15 minutes, let it run, come back and see if there's any progress. You know, and at a certain point, yeah, you know, you may have to reset the computer, like by pulling the plug on it or powering it down and rebooting it. But most of the time, it's just a process that's taking a long while. Don't worry about it. Be patient. Let it go through. It will work, okay? So, again, those affiliate links in the video description don't cost you any more than they would if you go directly to Amazon to get these things. And another bonus is you get exactly what I used in the video, so you know it's going to work, right? So that's great. On top of that, comment section. In the comment section below the video, put your comments, put your whatever you want to say to me in there. I appreciate it a lot, especially video suggestions. I love those because I make videos like this from those, right? Russ L. Was a commenter that actually put the question that caused this video to be made. You know, actually 2 videos to be made. So I really appreciate those as well. And I look at them regularly and respond to them regularly. So thank you very much for that stuff. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh, yes. If you like my channel and you like my content, make sure to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Then as part of the process of doing that, you'll see a little bell icon. Click the bell icon. That's the notification bell. That means that every time I put up a new video, you'll be notified, and then you can watch it, you know, at your own leisure. Once again, and like always, I want to thank you for watching, supporting my efforts here. The super kind comments that I get all the time, I really love them. And, you know, for subscribing, sharing, and liking my videos. All right. Have a great day. Stay healthy, stay happy, and we'll see you on the next video.